Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, September 4th. It is Labor Day weekend. We just got done cutting hay we cut on Wednesday night and Thursday night. Then it rained all day Friday. So I don't know. We were hoping to make hay this weekend, but it's Saturday and it's cloudy and it's about noon right now. So not a lot of drying going on today either, and grass is still wetter than I'll get out right now. So anyway, we cut with the 986 for this crop. Nothing really wrong with 12, other than we did go tractor pulling last weekend in Blue River, and basically what it come down to is the tractor is still kind of set up for tractor pulling yet. So it was just easier to put the 9 on the baler, or the disc bind. And the lights on this tractor are a little finicky right now. And I knew we were be cutting after work. It would start getting dark both times. Needed lights. I didn't really want to be stuck out into the wild blue wonder with no lights. So put the disc bind on the 986. Wednesday night we started cutting. I think my brother made, I don't know, 2 rounds, I suppose, and blew this hydraulic hose right here for the lift pressure up part of the remote here for lifting up the disc bind. Now it's supposed to have a steel line on it, and somewhere over the last 40 years since the tractor was new, it got replaced with a rubber hose, and it actually burst right here where it has been rubbing on the 3-point hitch rock shaft right there. So this morning, we end up just reversing the hose because the disc bind only has one hose on it. So we ended up reversing and putting the hose down here. So then you would basically have to push down on the hydraulic lever to raise the disc bind. So we were able to keep cutting. This morning I took the old one off. I thought, well, maybe I can take it and get it just repaired here. Just basically to cut the hose and put a steel union in it. And actually there was a few spots in it within like a foot area there that had rub through marks on it. So we just went ahead and had a new hose made. I know it's probably not correct. Should have a steel line on it like that. I don't know whatever happened to the steel line. I don't remember it going bad. I'm guessing it must have rubbed through a pinhole on it or something, and Dad didn't want to spend the money on a new steel line. It doesn't go very far. It just goes down, through there and then goes, just straight in there. So it's probably a longer hose than it actually was a steel line. So I'm not sure, but anyway, $50 later, we won't have a hose leak anymore. So tractor's been working good. No issues at this point. We dodged a really big bullet there. This morning I went out and actually cut a little bit. That field over, you probably can't see it, but there's a field over there in between the cricks that we usually use for our grain transfer in the fall. We cut that third crop off of that a month ago. Not quite a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I suppose it was. And I just went back over there and clipped off. The fourth crop was already 8 inches tall, I suppose, 10 inches tall, and I clipped that off, just the front half of the field. So that way we didn't have, real tall stuff to walk through when we were trying to do our corn and beans this fall. So, job today, this weekend, I say, was hopefully to get the hay baled, but I don't know. It's supposed to be nice Sunday and Monday, so I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow's enough dry enough and maybe we can get something baled on Monday. But then they're talking about rain again on Monday night into Tuesday, so And I'm not the only one around the area that has hay cuts. So, and we knew it was coming. We were hoping maybe it wouldn't be quite as much rain. And it didn't rain much. It just kind of drizzled all day yesterday. So, job today is I got that fixed. Probably get that tractor pulling wise. And then I got a mess to clean up in the shed right here. It definitely needs some work. I bought a fluid transfer pump. It's in the back of the truck right there. I got a 55-gallon drum, empty one in the barn. I'm bringing it over here and I'm sticking it somewhere over here and I'm dumping all this used oil that's in these buckets right here in it, so we don't have these stupid 5-gallon buckets of oil that are just randomly laying here open to drop tools, phones, and stuff in. So I'll hopefully clean that up, and then it's pretty messy on the bench. How much of it I'll get done today, but and in the background here, it's a little bit of a disaster too. It needs to be cleaned up. This is some of my stuff from my old house. I cleaned the garage out and just brought everything, but I got nuts, bolts. There's some tools in here. There's a rack I got from my garage. I'll get everything kind of cleaned up, hopefully here, and organized a little bit, and go through these shelves here and get stuff that we don't need that Dad saved. Been in here for 40 years that I don't know why I even have it. So get cleaned up a little bit. There's just, random bucket of bolts right there. They're all rusted, no good. The grill for the tractor. Don't know why I didn't throw that out last spring when I put the new one in it. So, listening to the Badgers play right now, Penn State, they are not winning nor are they losing. It is 0-0. Sounds like both offenses are struggling pretty mightily. So some of you guys know that we had a tornado come through here. It missed us by, I don't know, half mile. We were the next in line. If the tornado had stayed straight, we would have been the next one to get hit. It was basically already headed down this valley here behind the machine shed. And it started down it, and I don't know for sure. I'm guessing there must have been enough cold air. It's usually pretty cool up behind the machine shed here up this valley. It's like a mile-long valley up through there, and it's usually pretty cool up in there. There's a spring up in there. I think it had a lot to do with it, and that cold air come out. I think it pushed it. That's the only thing I could think of, is it pushed it and turned it, and it went out behind the barn here. It's literally went across the bottom up here about a quarter mile up behind the barn, and then went across that way, and didn't really do any more damage to any buildings. Took out a lot of trees, a lot of wind damage, tornado damage, twisted trees, stuff like that. So hurt some crops. So how much rain did we get yesterday? I don't even think it registers in the rain gauge unless somebody dumped it out. Maybe somebody dumped it out. Yeah, it's already, either we didn't get anything or it already been dumped out, but there's nothing in there. So only other damage we got is it ruffled a little tin on the barn up here, and we actually got that fixed here the other day. A guy come out with a boom truck, and it was literally right behind the silo around the corner right there. I'll probably have to go over there because there's more damage back here. I ripped the roof off of the the bunk feeder. And then that old corn crib over there. I can't really see it on this side. That piece of tin over there was actually been off that for a couple of years, but on the other side, it roughed up the tin on that side pretty good. And I'm not sure if we're ever going to fix that. Nothing really. It's not even insured at this point, so I don't know. We might just tear it down. And it can be about probably 4 or 5 head of cattle standing underneath of it, but yeah, the tin basically got roughed up right there. I don't know if you can see. You can see right there's a bunch of screws. A guy come out on Wednesday night with his boom truck. Local guy cuts trees, and it was nice enough to come out with his boom truck and get that fixed back up for us. so that we didn't really want the tin flopping off the barn, because once the roof goes, pretty much the whole barn goes down. So, and then there's the roof on the bunk feeder there. Ripped like half of it off, I suppose. Most of it's still on there. It just kind of folded it up. So, got to put a couple screws in it and some more boards. It pulled some of the boards off the top of it. So, anyway, I don't know, other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say. That over there, and over there is where that field is at. That I just cut that. If we get a bale of hay off for that little acre that I cut, I'd be surprised. But I didn't want a bunch of tall stuff out there in a month from now. And I think we're going to turn the cattle over there, and I may chew it down, but that's a lot of green alfalfa. I'm afraid they'd probably get a little bloated if they ate all that and gorge themselves on it. So when we get the hay done, we'll probably pull the combine out of the shed and started looking it over. I don't know, there was something a little goofy about the feeder house chain on that last fall when we got it all cleaned up. And I'm not totally sure if it was because of the combine's got a tilt on the flex on the feeder house for like side hill, like if you're doing beans, you can tilt it so it contour. I forget what the New Holland calls it, but you can tilt it so the head, you know, tilts with the terrain. I think they call it a terrain terracer or something like that, or something like that they call it. It's on the side of the combine, but it looked goofy in there, so I'm not sure if it wasn't set back to 0 or if actually there's a bearing gone out on the front drum of the feeder house chain. But I think you should probably look at that, see what's going on there. So anyway, back in here, so I gotta clean this up. Anyway, about the tractor pulling a little bit. Pulled the 300. I pulled that in the... I'm going to turn the radio down here for a second. Or just shut it off. I pulled the 300 in the 5,000 pound antique class. Actually, it ended up being the 5,100 pound antique class because I weighed too much. I weighed like 5,150 or something like that. Because there's still a little fluid left in the tires yet. If I need to get that out of there so I can get it weighed a little lighter. But so they were gracious enough in Blue River to let me pull in the class, and this everyone else in the class had to weigh up to 5,100 pounds. It didn't really matter anyway because I didn't get last place. There was a guy that got DQ'd for going too fast. So I did not get last, but I definitely would have got last if that guy wouldn't have got DQ'd, because I think he pulled in the next class in like 5,500 and ended up getting like first place. So I'm sure that he would have beat me, no doubt about it. So I'm kind of disappointed. I put these tires on this tractor. They are 15.538s. The other ones I had out were 14.938s, and the other ones seemed like they pulled better. These are a lot better tire as far as they're not dry rotted like the other ones were, but of course I've only pulled it a couple of times, and I have not pulled on dirt yet, and I think I'm probably going to pull. We got a tractor pull coming up in Boscobel here in a couple of weekends. I'm going to take it down and see how it does on dirt. Maybe it'll do okay, but of course I never really pulled real great on blacktop with it anyway. So we'll see how it does in dirt with these tires. They're pretty sharp. They're pretty sharp. So we'll see how it does. We took the 560 down. That I pulled in the 6,500 pound antique class. That tractor actually has way too large tires on the back to be legal to pull in an antique class, which I knew going down there, and I've fully made everyone aware of it. And I talked to the 3 or 4 guys that were in the class, wanted to make sure if they were okay with it. If not, I was just going to pull exhibition. I took it down there. I was going to pull it regardless of whether I was in it for the money or not, which I was not in it for the money anyway. But so they let me pull. There were no problems with it. Well, I actually ended up winning the class, and I took the money that I had won and donated it back to the fire department, since they're the fire department that puts on the Autumn Fest and the tractor pull, and we are in the Blue River Fire District here, so I just gave the money back to the fire department because, first off, I was technically cheating, so I didn't want any hard feelings with anyone, which nobody had hard feelings to begin with, but I just wanted to, I guess, make myself have a clearer conscience about it. So that was that. We took the 1256 down, and we pulled that in, Dale pulled that in the 10,000 pound local class. The local classes are for people that live in the Riverdale School District. They have a couple of rules differently than, say, a regular farm class. Local classes can only have weights on factory locations. So wheels and front end. Wheel weights, you can have a belly bracket, but you cannot have any weight on it. You can have a weight bracket on the 3-point hitch, but no weights hanging on it either. So he usually pulls in that class. I'm not totally sure what place he got. I think there was probably 8 tractors in his class, I suppose. He ended up getting what we believe was probably 4th or 5th place. There was a spot in the track that was a little bit tough. It's blacktop, mind you. There was they tore up the blacktop a few years ago and put in water line, sewer line, or something in the street, and then they patched it back in again. There's a spot in the street that's probably 2 foot wide across it that it's a little rougher, and if you get across that, tractor usually starts bouncing, and if you can get it to go across without bouncing or get out of it bouncing, you usually can do pretty good. But whatever reason, the wrong air pressures, or he was going too fast or not fast enough or whatever, did not make it through. I think he got 4th or 5th place. And then I pulled it in the 11,000 pound class, which is more of an open farm class. That allows you to put weights wherever the heck you want on it. It's 8 mile an hour, just like the class Dale pulled in. And I think I got somewhere around 5th place. And there was probably 10 tractors in that class. And that was basically the same thing happened to me as happened to him. I got across that little cutout in the street, and I ended up started bouncing, and it ended up petering out on me. So that was that. It was hot, very hot that day. And Dale ended up getting sick the next day. He had got, I don't know, it's probably been 5 years ago, I suppose. I don't know if he got a heat stroke, or he definitely had really bad heat exhaustion. He was, I think he ended up at the hospital because he was so sick. And ever since then, the heat really gets to him quickly. And it wasn't like we were doing a bunch of work. I mean, the tractor's pretty much all weighed where they were at. We didn't have to really move any weight at all. And it affected him. He got home from the tractor pull, and he just instantly felt sick. And then Sunday, he basically just laid around and pumped fluid into him all day. And so he kind of recovering from that. Once you get it, I guess it's really easy to get it again. So anyway, that is what's going on here at Triple Creek Acres. I don't know for sure, say if we get any hay baled this weekend or not. Probably should go check on the cattle at some point. But anyway, we'll talk at you guys later. and probably make another video of making hay. If not, it probably won't be again until harvest season. So we will talk to you guys later. See you later.